Hello, my name's Dr. Rob Yeung. I'm an organisational psychologist and a coach at a consultancy called Talent Space. And I'd like to talk to you about negotiation. But rather than giving you a specific set of rules on how you can negotiate, I'd like to talk about one central concept which will help you to negotiate more effectively, and that is of the pie. So think of a literal pie, something that you can eat for a moment. So it's an apple pie or perhaps a savoury pie like a meat pie. Now, novice negotiators usually think of negotiation as the process of arguing over who can have the biggest slice. So imagine that you've got two parties, a more powerful individual and a less powerful individual. Perhaps the more powerful individual is saying that actually they should have 90% of this pie, whereas the less powerful party may be ideally trying to get close to a 50-50 split. Or imagine that, say, your organisation is thinking about buying a service from a supplier. Perhaps your company is hoping to pay around £8,000 for it. But the supplier may be hoping to charge £10,000. So then the negotiation becomes a tussle, an argument over who can get the price closer to what they want. Experienced negotiators ask a different question. So rather than thinking about how can we carve up this small pie, they reframe it. They ask the question, how can we in the first instance bake a bigger pie? So by working together, how might we create more value than at first seems to be on offer? So taking us back to that conversation between, say, your company and a supplier, we might open up the discussion. Rather than buying just this one service, I might think about the benefits of maybe buying 2 or 3 times the size of the order. So how can we perhaps open up further economies of scale? Or perhaps if I'm offering you more stable cash flow, perhaps that might be worth a further discount. The point is that by sharing some of my problems with you and vice versa, we might be able to solve problems for each other and therefore create further value. Or it might be worth even considering creating some entirely new service together. Or imagine a different scenario. You've been through a round of job interviews and you've now been offered the job. You're going in for a negotiation about your salary and you want as high a salary as you can get. But the organisation may have some genuine constraints over how much it can offer you. So it's worth you thinking about other ways that the organisation could offer you value. For example, the organisation might be able to allow you to work from home on 1 or even several days a week. And in that way, you reduce your commuting time and therefore your stress levels. Or perhaps you might enjoy working on certain product lines, or you might develop further in your career by working with certain customers. So that, again, might be worth more value to you. But in turn, you need to think about added value that you can offer the organisation. So perhaps you have some skills, some knowledge that you could train your colleagues up on and boost their skills. Or you could offer to work in a more flexible fashion because that might benefit the organisation. But allow me to sum up. So the point is that whatever the circumstances of your negotiation, don't just think about immediately how do we slice up this pie. Think about how might we bake a bigger pie in the first instance. So think about sharing some of the problems and the annoyances and concerns that you face. Try to get the other party to share some of theirs as well, because we might be able to fix problems for each other and therefore create further value. So remember that effective negotiation is about first baking this bigger pie, creating bigger, better opportunities that we can then share out.